now what you can see that the banlieue, all the banlieue around Paris, they are actually making Paris function in many ways. So, we always have this sort of image of the banlieue, a ghetto, or confined places actually, which it's a place of flux. And again, for example, take the line 13, which is the line that takes you to Paris to Saint-Denis, for example.
The metro line.
Yeah, this metro line, and this is the crowdest metro line ever. And it's a really interesting exercise to take this metro line really early in the morning from Saint-Denis to Paris, and you will see that this line is already overcrowded with cleaners, with people working in transport, logistics, cashier, and so on and so forth. And so, again, the picture is a bit different. Now you can see in many ways that the banlieue are deeply economically connected to the center, and this is not a question of only Paris and the Paris.
So is it a seminal moment? Is it a seminal moment for France, this? Because when we come out of confinement, will it all be forgotten?
But possibly, because now we've got this sort of narrative of the heroes, the ordinary heroes, we're clapping, and it's very symbolic, and it's kind of cheap. I think it's good that we celebrate all these people because they're obviously essentials, but I don't think these people even want to see themselves as heroes. They just want to be recognized for what they do, and recognition starts with a decent wage. And as well, maybe more consideration in the way they are treated overall and seen. And again, if you, I go back on the police thing, because maybe it's something that the international viewer might not understand, because it's very specific to France. In France, the police has the right to stop and search and to ask for your ID. And if you haven't got your ID on you, it's an offense, and you can be taken down. So you need to have your ID. And this is very specific to France. And that's one of the rationale of this stop and search, and this sort of a cat and dog game with the police and the youth in the suburbs is, we're asking you for your ID, and if you haven't got your ID, you're going to be in trouble. And this has been going on for years and years and years and years. And you have to understand that the reality for the youth of the suburbs, and especially the boys, is that every boy will have had a bad experience of stop and search and be caught in the moment where he hasn't got his ID and is going to end up at the police station. So that is an experience that is shared by everybody. So that's why as well, people fear of the police. It's not only like the issue of racism, which is an issue, but it's the idea that it's plausible, it's probable that you can go out as a boy and end up at the police station with an offense.
Fabien, you're in Britain, where you don't legally have to have your ID with you when you walk down the street. Nonetheless, is the experience in working class neighborhoods the same as it is in France right now under lockdown?
Well, you have no issues with the police because the relationship between the police and the inhabitants is a bit different. So you haven't got the same issues, but the social issues are just the same. And if you look at England, I mean, all the figures about the essential workers and the concentration of basically areas where people have less means of surviving at these crucial times. You see the higher rates of illness and death and so on and so forth. So it's exactly the same thing in that respect. So the sort of social picture of what I call a social part of the virus is very, very clear.